Assalamu alaikum. We're back with the part 2 with the man himself, Mr. Ventura, the originator of the Quesabirria Taco. He has a crazy story, guys, and you guys wanted the part 2, and I'm so excited. So Ventura, the video went viral, went crazy. You got a bunch of questions, and that's why we're here for part 2 to address those. The first one is that a lot of people have questions about is, how did this all come about? How did you end up here? How did you end up slinging these halal quesabirria tacos?
I moved to Mexico at a very young age. I stood in Mexico for almost 2 decades. And when the violence and the COVID and all that started happening, I went ahead and made my journey back to the United States to look for a real job. You know, no more fun in the sun and hanging out on the beach. I am a web developer. I specialize in search engine optimization. I create websites. That is what I do for a living in Mexico. I edit. I'm an editor. I've done over 250 different commercials in Mexico. I was a food critic in Mexico. I could say that I was one of the pioneers in Mexico when it comes to influencers, using YouTube and Facebook as a tool to market Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. For me, Guanajuato, Mexico, Aguascalientes, Mexico, different parts of Mexico, to the world of travelers that were not sure where to go or where's the safe places to visit, the safe restaurants to eat at, right? So when I moved here, when I moved back to Chicago, I developed a website called visitchicago.com. And in that is where I said, okay, I'm gonna try to make a living off these quesabirria tacos, because the birria craze with the goat meat, reading all the comments about the goat meat birria tacos that they were selling here, like the birrerias, like the Ocotlans, the Zaragozas, all them like OG birria places that sell the goat meat. I would read the comments and I'd read, oh, they're all right, you know, they're not all that, you know. And when I was reading that, I felt to myself, I gotta end, because I have what's called a quesabirria, right? The quesabirria, you can go to any OG owner of any birria restaurant. You could go to anybody in Mexico, really, and ask them, have you ever heard of a quesabirria before 2019? And they're gonna tell you no, because it didn't exist, not even in California. In California, they also had the birria taco, the red tacos, and the quesa tacos. That is what they were slinging in California. Even in California, they're now calling it quesabirrias. I remember when I first did my first TikToks that blew us up, I remember reading the comments, and the people from California would say, oh, look at Chicago, they're trying to invent their own taco now, right? Because it's made out of beef. Mine is made out of beef, right? The birria taco, the OG one, right, is made out of goat meat and doesn't take cheese. They don't even fry they're not even really supposed to fry the tortilla. It's actually served in a bowl, right? California made these birria tacos, the goat meat birria, really famous because of the way they poured the consomme and the tacos and, you know, just did the whole show, right? So when I did the website for the quesabirrias, what I did was I went ahead and I didn't want to do my search engine optimization off of the word birria because there was just so much competition. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call it a quesabirria from my family in Zapopan, Jalisco, right? Nobody knew what a quesabirria, bro, I'm telling you, nobody knew what a quesabirria was. Nobody. So when I arrived to Chicago, I started slinging them out of my apartment. My website went live. I became #1 on Google because that's what I do for a living, right? I made sure that I came up #1 when somebody searched quesabirria tacos, Chicago, quesabirria tacos, birria tacos. I went ahead and back-ended my website with the word birria, but the front end was quesabirria. I was selling out of my house, and I would tell people, oh, hey, meet me at there was a Cermak food parking lot where I was slanging them on 26th and Spalding. And I would tell the people to park there or park at my friend's mechanic shop at Mandu's Auto Shop. And they would pull in and I would go run out. I had my friend Merari. She was cooking inside and I would come out with the bag. But then the city came and they were also customers. You know, crazy to say, but they were also customers. They were friendly enough. The city was like, look, you can't keep selling these out of your house. You got to find something to do. And during this time, it was COVID, right? So it was kind of hard. But the city gave me an idea. They said, why don't you go and ask all these restaurants, they're all slow right now, if you could do a pop-up. So that the video that I did with Abe that went viral, in there I say, my own people wouldn't give me a chance. What I meant by that was, I walked up and down 26th Street, I walked up and down 18th Street and here in Pilsen, and I begged people to please let me do a pop-up in their restaurant. Every single one of them. This is what I mean of my own people telling me no. Every single one of them tells me, what's a quesabirria? Like I'm crazy or something, right? They looked at me like I was insane.
It wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing at that time, so they didn't see the vision.
Right. But I'm talking about, I went doorstep to doorstep just on 18th and 26th Street. And how it became halal is I didn't lose hope, even though everybody kept rejecting me and making me feel like I was an idiot for trying to sell this quesabirria that nobody knew what it was. So I'm walking down Kedzie by 26th Street, and I stop and I see a place, it's called Tanur Kebab. And I walk inside, and there's this beautiful man named Ayman. And he looks at me, you know, I could tell he could see the frustration. And I'm like, I have this magic taco. And I was wondering if you would give me a chance to sell, because, you know, I can't sell out of my house anymore. And he tells me, not out of this place, because he does catering out of that place. He says, but he has a place on Lawrence in Harlem called Pita Kebab. He says that he'll be interested in letting me sell, but I had to follow the 2 rules, which was no pork and no alcohol. So when he took me shopping, we went to Restaurant Depot, Jethro's Restaurant Depot, and he saw the big ball of meat that I was buying, and he says, no. Let's try something else. He goes, let me see what kind of meat it is, and he saw the kind of meat. He goes, okay. So he walks over to the halal area, and he goes, you're gonna buy this meat from now on, and your chicken is gotta be halal chicken. And I didn't know what that meant at all. I didn't know what I was buying. I knew it was a little more expensive. I knew that. But once he told me the story of how the difference in the way the animal dies, and the whole backstory on it, I was like, okay, I get that, right? I understand it.
Yeah,
I understand it. So I respected his wishes. And he says, if you do what I say, later on, you will thank me. Just like that. 4 years later, I want to tell him, thank you so much.
Alhamdulillah.
He changed my life. When he told me this, I felt it. You know what I mean? When he said, do what I say, and you will thank me later, I now know what he meant, right?
That's a beautiful story about community and trust, and it's so beautiful. And we usually say, like, Alhamdulillah, that's what we say, like, that's thanks to God, right? It's like, Amen, like, came into your life. So many things happen, right? And it's like, we give thanks. It's like, you're not only the originator of the Quesabirria taco, you're one of the OG influencers. We were talking a little bit, and Ventura, you've been working on YouTube and doing vlogs and travel vlogs, influencing since 2007. 2007. Wow, so it's deep. Okay, we talk a little bit about that.
The wonderful thing about my generation is that I was able to experience all these social media outlets that are now like just booming everywhere. When YouTube and all these things first came out, they were just people uploading just silly stuff. You know, nothing really on, when you talk about tourism. What I did was, when I realized how many people can be touched by YouTube, how many people can be informed by Facebook, I live in a place where people come down and they see it as unsafe. Not just unsafe as safety, but unsafe when it comes to eating, right? You have a stereotype in Mexico that, oh, don't drink the water, or don't eat the food, or you're gonna get diarrhea, or you're gonna get sick. So part of what I did in Mexico was I would travel to restaurants that I knew were on this thing called the Gringo Trail, right? And this is a study done by the Mexican government that shows when people travel to Mexico, they usually start off on a beach, they spend a week inland, whether they go to Mexico City, San Miguel de Allende, Guanajuato, Guadalajara. You got all these different places that people go out and visit besides the beach that they start off at, right? So what I did, I worked with the government of Puerto Vallarta, and I decided, okay, why don't we do this? We're gonna get a whole bunch of college students, and we're gonna use their knowledge of marketing, their knowledge of SEO, editing, and go out and do a show and go ahead and review restaurants, review hotels, review things to do in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, all these different places. And I was just the lucky one to be one of the first ones to do it. I'm not saying I'm the first person to ever market Mexico through social media, but it's like the Quesabirria. If somebody can show me, right? Listen to this. This is a challenge. This is a challenge to everybody out there who questions us about being the originators of the word Quesabirria, right? And making it viral worldwide now. Find me a business in any part of the world that was using Quesabirria before 2019. If somebody finds me marketing for quesabirrias where this restaurant was like pumping quesabirrias and all that, I will close my restaurant.
There you go, guys. That's a big challenge.
I will close my restaurant. If somebody can show me any restaurant that was making these go viral anywhere in the world before 2019. It did not even exist on Wikipedia. I know, because I was doing my website and trying to get information on the birria tacos, and I would search quesabirria, and it would kick me to all these other things. It didn't even exist. The word quesabirria did not exist on Wikipedia back in 2019 when I first started developing the web page for the Quesabirria Jalisco restaurant.
When you say home of the original Quesabirria taco,
Bro.
that's not just talk.
In front of my restaurant, in a big old banner, it says what? Home of the original quesabirria.
Yep. A lot of comments, folks, but we know who the real one is. We know who the OG is. So they don't want that smoke.
Nobody's ever come and said that I'm not.
No one's coming for you. No one's challenging the throne.
Give me a business that says they brought it. You know why you're not gonna get that? Because they don't want to get embarrassed.
They don't want that smoke.
They don't want the smoke here, bro. I got, you know what? The internet doesn't erase. There's no erasing on the internet. And if somebody could show me, California, they claim, they you know what? A lot of Californians, they don't claim quesabirria, but they're the OG birrias. They're the OG red tacos. They're the OG quesa tacos. You know what I mean? I wanted to do something different for SEO reasons. So quesabirria was brought here by us.
So Ventura, what makes this taco so special?
We're not here selling tortas, burritos, Mexican plates, steak. And we're not here selling a million products. We just sell one thing, bro.
You're experts.
We sell
You're
one
experts.
thing.
Yep.
The Lebanese arrived to Mexico back in the 50s.
Yep.
And the Arabic community that were escaping persecution in certain parts moved to Mexico. And they brought us what?
Al pastor, the shawarma,
Al pastor.
the shawarma.
So our cultures have been meshing for a minute. Our cultures, they're different, right? But they both got their beauties. And when you
That's love.
unite them beauties together,
That's what
man,
it's
something
about.
special happens. In Mexico, when you go to these food carts, whether in Mexico City,
thing, right?
it's, you know, they're usually known for one thing. Let's go to get some tacos de cabeza. You know where you're going with Don Pancho over here. You know, you want your tacos de arrachera. You want your tacos de bistec. Everybody has their specialty. Everybody has their special place that they go to, and they're at that spot. They only sell one or two things. And that's where I learned about freshness. In Mexico, here I've done marketing for some restaurants. You should see the freezers they have. They've got like months of meat frozen, and it's like, what the hell is that? In Mexico, it's per day you buy.
Yeah. Fresh.
It's freshness. That's what it's all about. Here, I think that's what the difference is too when it comes to taquerias. Here, you will see everybody got prepped for the whole week. Every single different meat put in plastics and freezed, and they've lost touch with freshness, They've lost touch with the love for their food. Now it's just, it's just, okay, you're just another number. You're just another number. And I think that is what lacks. Yeah. Customer service in this city is terrible. It's love here, bro. Yeah. I love everybody that walks through that door.
I feel it.
You know why? Because I used to sell out of an alley, bro. And now this is what the customers have brought to me. They made this. The customers are the reason why I'm sitting here having an interview with you.
Like we talked about, it's cultures coming together, right? You got the meat, which is the halal meat, and the product that gives you the base of it. And then you got your expertise. You're doing it the traditional way. You got the experts in the kitchen. And when those two things come together, that's when you get that beautiful, beautiful product, which is not just food. It's like going beyond food, right? There's like a story beyond just the taco, which in itself is amazing, right? So you guys will see that when you guys come here. It's the food, it's the love, it's the community, it's everything. And that's what makes you special. You're coming to Dearborn, you're coming to Toronto.
Pop up, coming this summer. We're planning it right now.
We're making it happen.
We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna be in Dearborn. We're also going to Toronto. We're gonna do a pop-up in Toronto really soon.
2024 is gonna be crazy. Bro. Quesabirria to the world, from Mexico to the US to Canada to beyond.
Damn. It's gonna be the McDonald's of tacos.
Inshallah.
But better.
Let's go.
I'm gonna convert one day, my friend.
There you go. There you go, guys. There you go, guys. Assalamu alaikum. HF Day signing up.